this. All right, EDH Senpai back. We're attempting to do the mole of the moliest. Angraz, the quake-mole. So basically, it's going to be a Gruul CDH list, two colors, red and a green. Um, when it becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. Three colors, two red and two green. It must be blocked each combat if able, and it's an 8/4. I have someone here that's been working on the list since day one of release, and I really dig the commander. So say something, Vesper.
Hi, it's Vespur. Yes, I've been driving me crazy with this list, hoping EDH Senpai can do his magic and give me something because it just feels like I can't break the ceiling of high power and get it fully there to CDH. Got close several times, but just not getting there.
So realistically, we'll just start off with the normal CDH thing. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna import a package. We'll use my artifact package for now. Obviously, we're not gonna run the Thopter. So what does this commander want to do? Is the question.
Stompy moles, so winning with commander damage, or you can go the combo route where you fog and you have some kind of non-combat damage tapper where it's getting blocked, no combat damage is getting through, and then you're getting untapped so that you kill the whole table. Like,
Yeah,
let's
Zertod Druid.
see.
So yeah, Zertod Druid basically whenever it becomes tapped, it deals one damage each opponent.
And it's a mana dork, so
And it's a mana
super
dork.
bonus. There's a couple more that I found, which we can consider. Of course, Goblin Sharpshooter. That's a good one because it can machine gun down the table and removal when you need it for X1s. And then a couple of rare things that I found that I've been kind of testing out are Heat of Battle. So you could just go that route. Or what about Chandra's Magmut? It's a bear that has a tap to deal a damage.
I'm gonna drop the Magmut. The Magmut's actually interesting though. So if you want like a budget build, that could be a viability. Um, a few of the oddball ones I want to include before we get any further is Assault, Aggravated Assault, which just gives us more natural attack steps. You need to fill in with mana dorks because we're going to combat repeatedly. Most of our mana, besides these basic rocks and maybe the ring, will probably be formulated through creatures. So we got to keep creatures that are we'll do a Bird of Paradise, just because it's a good one, but it does die to Bowmaster, so be conscientious of that. And then we're on Delighted, Halfling. We're on Incubation Druid. We're on. What is the
I
one
think
that's.
Savala is a good option.
Yeah, Savala. Heart of the Wild? Yeah, Heart of the Wild.
Yep.
Um.
I like Armored Scrap Gorger.
Yeah, Armored. I was about to say Armored Scrap Gorger.
It does everything the deck wants to do, and it gives an option for eating graveyards, so
Yeah, it's
it
also
becomes a 3/3 eventually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I wonder what the. Yes, I want the Llanowar Loam Speaker. And there's a reason why. Loam Speaker. So though this is not the greatest dork, it makes mana of any color. It's a 1/3. Target land becomes a 3/3 elemental with haste. Possibly could get into a placement where like we know we're gonna go to combat and try to kill people, so we tap it to make a creature into a land into a creature, and then we go to combat. And then if we have any other way, like Aggravated Assault, which would give us an additional main phase, we could then go to main phase, make an additional land into a creature, and keep beating face and progressively get more lands into creatures. It has an interesting pattern, and it gives them haste, which. It's a 2/3 creature activated abilities 2, and then it gets a +1/+1 counter. We'll try it. I'll put it out. So to make this all work, we would need to then have fogs. Have you figured out like the best fogs at this point?
Yeah, I have a couple of favorites. Of course, Spore Frog, because you can tutor for it in green very easily.
Okay, Spore Frog. That's actually a really good one.
I also like Blessed Respite because it gets rid of graveyards as well. So it's got the functional the dual modes.
Okay. Let's see what that does. Target player shuffles their graveyard into the library. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. That's not terrible.
The problem is it telegraphs what you're gonna do
and it's
if
also,
you don't have a haste enabler.
It's a 1/1 for 1. Yeah, I'm not too big on that. So, I mean, there is a world where, because we're playing the Loam Speaker, if we were on Maze of Ith, we could turn that into a creature.
I highly recommend Maze of Ith because of the fact that it works until the end of the turn, so it's good for the whole combat.
We're gonna probably need Yavimaya Cradle of Growth then, is what we're saying.
Yes. And we need crop rotation so that we can get some of our utility lands the second that we need them as like a gotcha.
So then that means we're on Gaia's Cradle.
Scarg the Rage Pits because you can give it +1/+1 and trample till the end of the turn after you get scarred.
Isn't there?
And then
yeah.
There's the First Strike Enabler, which is Shinka, the Blood-Soaked Keep. So if somebody tries to block it and kill the mole, you can respond by tapping 1 red and a land to give it First Strike until the end of the turn. Handwire Battlement's better for a haste enabler.
Handwire Battlements. Yeah, so this makes colorless, but you can then give target creature haste. That's not bad.
Yeah, and it comes in untapped.
So Rhythm of the Wild. Rhythm of the Wild, because that'll combo.
Plaza of Heroes, too, because that can be used as a defense in a worst-case scenario to give Hexproof and Indestructible to a legendary.
Blood Moon. So my problem is I want to play Blood Moon, and I want to play Magus of the Moon. I want to penalize people because we're not going to have a problem. So Root Maze. This commander where surrounds Collector Roof. This commander works around artifacts, so Karn. The Great Creator, which would probably end up cutting, and it also works around a little cute tech that I was looking at before we started, which Titana's Song. Each non-creature artifact loses all abilities and is an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its total casting cost. If it leaves play, this effect continues until end of turn. I think we need more fog effects realistically.
There's one, I forget it is. It's like Terrifying Presence or something. Let me see if I can find it.
Terrifying Presence. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by creatures other than target creature this turn. So you can turn off everyone else and then leave one thing that can do damage. Yeah, and that thing has to. Well, if they have to block your commander, that's actually pretty good. Has sack a land to get it back.
Oh yes, it's Mists.
Yeah, Contagion Mist. Constant Mist, there you go.
Constant Mist.
You can, creatures deal no combat damage this turn. I think with the buyback, that might be viable. So 1, 2, 3. We're on 3. Then we have the Ith, that's 4. The Ith's going to be harder.
Frog.
And then the Frog, that's 5. Action. So we're like Red Blast. Let me just start throwing all these out. And Pyro. Pyroblast. And then we're on like Veil of Summer. And then we're on, I don't even know if Heroic's good enough. Tyvar's Stand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Indestructible. Yeah.
Tamio's Safekeeping is another good one.
Safekeeping. There's got to be one that gives trample. Some Whirly Tutor. I'm going to put in Finale of Devastation. I'm going to put in Dockside.
And here's the question, since you're running Dockside, do you think that it's worth it to run the cat that you can bounce the Dockside?
Teamer Sabretooth?
Teamer Sabretooth, yeah.
We don't have an outlet with infinite mana.
Nope.
The only possibility is you could get a haste enabler, like let's say Rhythm of the Wild, put that in play, infinitely bounce Dockside with Teamer Sabretooth, and then also like a sharpshooter, and then constantly keep play the sharpshooter after infinite mana, and then tap it for one, then put it back in your hands. There is a world where you can do it. Plus, Teamer Sabretooth could specifically Teamer Sabretooth, bring it up. Teamer Sabretooth could also get indestructible, so it could actually kill people. I think it's a placement. I think it's because it's also 4 mana. It's pretty good. So I did make note of saying like Snake Umbra. So I have a weird mindset that I want to have card draw. And whenever a creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So if that were to be on one of your sharpshooters or something, you could draw some cards. You could put it in your commander. It's just a defensive thing. It gives a +1/+1, which means you're going to be at 9/5, which is a little more relative, like size-wise. There's also Keen Sense. I know you weren't big on these. I just feel like there's somewhere to be for this.
I tried them for a while, and I found that they were dead cards more than they were beneficial.
Yeah, so that means we need a Force of Vigor. So we can throw them because they're green to it.
Hunter's Insight.
Hunter's Insight. That requires you to deal damage to a player or planeswalker and draw that many cards. It's a one-off. I mean, I don't know if I would ever play like the ones that you get it for the power, like the sorcery ones, Rishkar's Expertise or any of them. I think they're just too slow in this format. Hunter's Insight could possibly be there. Orm Frostfang.
I think that's got more viability than the drawing when dealing damage, just because it gives it Death Touch too, so it's a plus.
Well, the problem with the Death Touch is that if they block, if you have Trample, Orm Frostfang will be amazing, because then you deal 1 damage and trample over, and you'll kill every blocker, but you'll deal 7 damage to them every time. So that's the positive part of Orm Frostfang. I don't know. I do think that the Keen Sense might not be great.
I like the totem, like the snake.
But the totem makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, the totem makes sense.
But the Keen Sense might not be. I'm gonna just keep it here anyway. I just want to kind of mindset. I'm definitely gonna get rid of Bounty and the Hunt though. Definitely don't think that's actually gonna make the cut. A few more dorks that were good. We had there was a Rada, I guess. It's like Air to Kill. It's bad. It's really bad in most decks. Yeah, it's this one. So it makes double red whenever it attacks. So you'd be able to make a lot of red during combat only.
I like it because it fuels the aggravated assault.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So like that could work with aggravated assault, and it also can help you put into your commander's ability to force in the block, the double red.
The other one that's the same casting cost as that and kind of plays with the deck really well is Ruby Daring Tracker.
Daring Tracker. Yeah, I was about to say, I know there's one out of the Eldraine.
Because she wants to attack, she gets bonuses and becomes a 3/4 because of your commander, and she's a hasty mana dork. So you're paying 2, but you're getting 1 back. I like Professional Facebreaker if we don't have it already, because it ramps you and it has the Impulse Draw.
So Dual Caster is basically a counterspell on our deck. and then Heat Shimmer, and Twin Flame, which then makes me think that a Cursed Mirror is good. Even though we're shutting off artifacts completely, I'm dropping the... Do I drop the Karn, though? Karn is just... Well, we do need a
I think it's hard to defend our Karn.
We don't defend it. Karn is a stacks piece we want to drop super early if we're not dropping our commander, which will shut down most of the artifact tables, and people will inherently not block, not attack it, because they want to keep it up for somebody else's, because their deck's more a threat. Karn fits the same slot as Titania's Song. I just think the only reason why Titania's Song is really good is because it gives them blockers if they don't have 0 mana cost artifacts. And blockers are what we need. Because if they have 0 creatures... Oh, that makes sense. So we need a Forbidden Orchard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was running the whole 1/1 package of Llanowar Elves, Fenhorn Elves, and Elvish Mystic.
That's a good call, though. Legolas... what the hell is it called?
Quick Reflexes.
Quick Reflexes. Completely different subject, but
No. That's definitely, that belongs in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And do we have Deflecting Swat?
I do have Deflecting Swat in already.
Excellent.
I also have Bolt Bend. Where is it? I thought it was,
you know what we need to run? Not of This World. It is a free defense for your commander.
But doesn't it cost like 9 mana if you don't have your commander out?
Bolt Bend.
Bolt Bend. Yeah, because that one's basically 1 red to do the same exact thing. So right now we're on 88 and we have 29 lands. We dropped 2 lands still. So
probably a mountain.
I know my problem.
We need 3.
My problem is I don't want to go too heavy with not having fetchable target. I think our removal's our biggest problem right now. We're just it's super limited. Like Lightning Bolt just feels not good enough. Wild Magic Surge. So it's removal. This one. The owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shuffles it in their library, then that player discovers X, where X is the mana value. I think that's pretty good. Pick your poison. That card's play pattern is just astronomical. So Court of Calling. I mean, with our creature package, we could be on Survival of the Fittest, which would enable us to get the right creature at all time. Survival of the Fittest. Recruiter in. Imperial Recruiter, and then if we go Kiki, we go Kiki Jiki, we go Hyrex.
AX.
Yeah. Okay. Great Oak Guardian. There's a place to be said because Great Oak Guardian costs 6, but it has flash
too,
and it has reach. It enters the battlefield. Creatures target player controls get +2/+2 till end of turn and untap them. With our moderate amount of dorks we're running, because we're running about 5 plus Savala, so like 6 or 7. We could attempt to Savala Great Oak Guardian, and then keep casting it, drawing out our whole deck with Temur Sabertooth. It also untaps them all. This actually might be better than Hyrex Tower Scout.
Since we're turning off artifacts as one of our control strategies, I think that the 2 Spirit Guides in place of maybe a Lotus Petal.
Elvish Spirit Guide, and Simeon.
Yeah.
My only issue is I don't want to get rid of Lotus. I don't want to get rid of anything that we can play turn 1 that attempts us to get our commander. Tinder Wall. I mean, a lot of like fast decks like Najila and stuff run it.
Yep.
It'll enable us to get out faster. I honestly believe because of right now we have one, two, three Kiki Cheeky, so 3 goblins. I think we can run Matron. I think Goblin Matron is another tutor. It also is another great thing that we're putting more creatures in because then we can throw them to our whatever it's called, Survival of the Fittest. Okay, Destiny Spinner. I think Destiny Spinner. I'll go find
I think a better thing to run than Destiny Spinner would be Shusher.
Well, this is the thing. I want the second ability on Destiny Spinner.
Yeah. Could see that.
Even on worst case scenario, it can be activated at instant speed, so during combat. We could literally just turn our lands into, like, we don't have a small amount of enchantments. We have 10. If we had 3 out, counting itself, that would make all your lands 3/3s. I mean, you could just make a bunch of lands 3/3s and just beat face.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not a terrible play pattern. We're on 99. We get 1 more card.
How do you feel about the Great Henge? It's basically 2 green if you have out your commander. It gives you card advantage and it gains you life.
Well, it only gains us life if we
tap it.
Yeah, and if
every time you tap it, you get
if we can't tap it because we're shutting it off with all the artifacts, then that becomes a problem.
And it's still going to give our creatures +1/+1 counters and give us a card every time we cast a creature. Okay. So it's got a static.
It does.
Another thing that I think gets a large amount of value is Naiath of the Dire Hunt. Just because she can double power of your creature and make it have to be blocked. So it's a cheaper way to activate something having to block your commander.
Okay, so
it does have a forced draw on each block.
Whenever 1 or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay this. If you do, target creature's power. That creature double the power. I mean, I could see this.
You could KO someone if you got 2 combats and can boost your commander.
Actually, gains trample at the beginning of your next end step. Destroy a creature if it attacks this turn. Okay, so I'm actually going to say you can only cast it before the combat damage step. So, okay, yeah. So it gives you trample and it gives you double your power. And it doesn't kill that creature till the end step. Which you'll never get to if you just go infinite. Like, do we run, like, Life, Legacy, and Greater Good?
If it's going out anyway, then it would give us fill our hands back up, absolutely.
I think Life's Legacy is a viable card. It's a one-off. You can't, even if they countered it, the creature's going anyway.
It's a sorcery, though, Life's Legacy.
It is. It is a sorcery. The problem is, I don't know if Greater Good's good enough. Maybe we take out Kiki Jiki. Because we're not searching for it inherently.
I would say if we're going to do that, then we could take out Kiki Jiki and the Matron.
Yeah. Well, the Matron was getting us that, so that makes sense. We dropped that, and we dropped the Matron. We put in... So this is where it's going to be really interesting. What if we put in, like, things like Dargo? If I run Life's Legacy, and I run, like, Dargo, We can sack any artifacts we have. We can also sack creatures. So if we ever get to the point where our creature's like turned off, we can just sack it. It reduces its cost. It has trample. It's a large-bodied creature. If we were on Dargo Life's Legacy, I could probably see Greater Good being more viable.
Coil Serpent.
Stone Coil Serpent. Stone Coil. Yeah, so the Stone Coil Serpent makes sense to me because none of our artifact hate stops it. So that's actually perfect. It will be perfect for Tivit. It will be perfect for Timna. It'll be perfect for Crom. It can't.
And don't forget Murder Bird.
Yeah, Murder Bird won't stop it, and it actually is really funny because their blockers will be cut in half. Only non-multicolored creatures can block it. So it will be one of our only unblockable creatures almost in this deck. I think it actually is very good.
Irresistible Prey. I like that because it's 1 green. It makes a creature have to be blocked, and it replaces itself by drawing a card.
Okay, so it's a sorcery that target creature must be blocked this turn if able, and you draw a card. I like it. I can see it. It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's just a cantrip. You cast it. Worst case scenario. The other one is 1 more. It is Compelled Duel, and those are the only ones that I saw, along with Naiath. Of the Dire Hunt, but those were the only good, shortcut. The fact that
was the other one an instant?
Nope, sorcery.
All right, so
unfortunately, yeah, that's really only a pre-combat effect.
So then we just stay this way. The biggest problem this deck has is if they get a Dranith out before we get our commander out. Berserk can actually kill their Dranith. Yeah.
Berserk that's true. I didn't think of it offensively.
So we can Eternal Witness, so that we'll be putting in. Eternal Witness just inherently gets you back something, but it also can go infinite with Dockside, Eternal Witness, like anything, and Temur Sabertooth. Just infinitely making mana and then infinitely flickering the Ewit to get back your whole graveyard. I think there's just a good pattern to be had. I am okay with this. I think this is actually pretty solid. I'm going to go down here. It's mostly green, a little bit of red. I would like to get a couple play tests on this, and then